Good afternoon and a very, very huge and warm welcome from Team Learning Matters to all of you who's joined us today on this Saturday afternoon. Welcome to the Star Educator Awards Gala 2020. It is going to be an evening filled with lots of inspiration. We have two wonderful guest speakers, very distinguished educationists in their own rights and in their own domains of education, who have contributed to the field of education for years and years. So we have much to learn from them and much to be inspired by them. We will also be very inspired by and learn from the 9 winners of the Star Educator Awards. This is the first year that Learning Matters has instituted the Star Educator Awards. It is our humble attempt to throw light on remarkable educators around the country who are going above and beyond, inspiring their students, inspiring their colleagues, inspiring the whole school, maybe their even parents to reach higher, to do better. These are educators who truly recognize the inner potential of their students and go out of their way to bring that potential out and to make the students reach heights that they might never have dreamed they could. Very inspired by and learn from the 9 winners of the Star Educator Awards. This is the first year that Learning Matters has instituted the Star Educator Awards. It is our humble attempt to throw light on remarkable educators around the country who are going above and beyond, inspiring their students, inspiring the whole school, maybe their even parents to reach higher, to do better. These are educators who truly recognize the inner potential of their students and go out of their way to bring that potential out and to make the students reach heights that they might never have dreamed they could. So this is our first year of doing this. We have been absolutely overwhelmed by the response that we received from all parts of the country. It's been wonderful to see the profiles of the wonderful educators who were nominated. And the jury had a very, very tough time. They worked very hard and for many days on ensuring that they did justice to the people that were picked. And it was a very hard task because there were so many wonderful educators whose profiles were as inspiring and as good. And unfortunately, there's only one winner, but that doesn't mean that they are the only winners in the true sense of education, because we all have something to learn from these 9 wonderful individuals. And the more that we learn, the more we can all win at what we do, which is truly educating others. And we are really thrilled, Team Learning Matters, because this particular event is, we have educators from close to 150 different schools and educational institutions joining us today. It's an absolute thrill for us to be having an event, hosting this event, where we have so many people from so many different schools and colleges and higher ed institutions joining us. Thank you all for your interest in the event and for joining us on time. So our very first speaker, before that, let me quickly set a few housekeeping rules. So we have multiple people from the Learning Matters team who are here to assist and answer any questions. If you all have any questions, you may put in your questions at any time on the chat window. And I see a lot of people are already using the chat window to say good afternoon and namaste. And yes, a very warm namaste to everyone who's joined us. And now we move on to the much anticipated next section of our program, which is the announcement of the Star Educator Awards and the winners. And I know this is, we had many people who were asking us, will you be announcing it beforehand? And we said, no, we will announce it only at the event, because the excitement has to build up. And I know there are many people here who are really waiting to see who these 9 remarkable educators are in these different domains. So without further ado, let's go ahead. And I really wish we had some fancy music to play, but we don't. And sorry about that. So Star Educator Awards 2020, the winner in the Excellence in Creative Teaching category is Mr. Niraj Naidu. Mr. Niraj Naidu is a very passionate educator who quit his corporate career and co-founded Shiksharth, which is a grassroots organization working towards bringing equitable learning opportunities to children affected with Maoist violence. Shiksharth has already been able to bring back over 1,000 children out of school and has brought them back to schools in collaboration with local administration. And they are also working to create safe spaces for children and develop contextual education solutions. Apart from this, Mr. Naidu has been a contributor to a mathematics app. He is a published writer and a very avid YouTuber. And his YouTube channel, Stories in the Time of Coronavirus, started by him during the pandemic, has more than 13,000 followers. Where they have read aloud some of the best children's books in India and the world to children. Mr. Niraj Naidu, on behalf of everyone here, many congratulations. And I will quickly turn your mic access on. Welcome, welcome, and congratulations.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, 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 sir, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you so much for for giving me this token of appreciation. Uh, yeah, I mean it is inspiring in such a time, in such a distressing time, to hear that okay, this something like this is coming to me. Yeah, and but I also feel that in because what category is about creative teaching, so I also feel that in such a time where I think almost every teacher is trying out so hard to become creative every day and to reach out children who are and to reach out children who are somehow disconnected with school education and trying really hard. I've seen lot of teachers doing uh, online courses about teaching online and taking it up online, buying smartphones for children and doing amazing stuff. So I think this the Creative Teaching Award uh, must go for all the teachers who are doing all possible, who are trying all possible ways to stay connected with their children. Uh, yeah,
Exactly.
and so that the children don't break off from the journey of education. Yes, Saraswati.
Yes, very, very well said, sir. Very, very well said. And also, more specifically to you, as you yourself just said, creativity is something most teachers have, especially have to show during this time, this very challenging pandemic time. But being a former copywriter and being creative with words is not a very new thing for you. But from being a copywriter to being a teacher in an Axel affected tribal area, you've ensured that you've kept the creative juices flowing by integrating textbooks with the local culture
Hello.
and bringing.
Yeah.
Hello. In the interest of time, we will move on. Uh, yeah, yes, that's what he's also saying. Okay, that's very considerate of him. Thank you so much, Mr. Neeraj, for your consideration. And he says it's better we should move on. So we'll do that. And very, very happy to announce that the winner in the category Excellence in Teaching Social Studies is Varsha Singh. Varsha Singh is a teacher in a DPS South in Bangalore, and I'm just searching for Varsha Singh. Yes. Varsha, I have granted you mic access. If you could please try uh, to come on.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, I think Varsha is on. Varsha is a teacher at Delhi Public School, South Bangalore. She has actively participated in various competitions like CENTA, TEFIT, and has also been certified for workshops and capacity building programs held by CBSE. Varsha, many, many congratulations to you. And we're very, very happy and honored to have you here. A very specific question to you is social science is a subject that has the ability to improve the understanding of our lives and interactions with each other, but it's also a subject that is a victim of rote learning by many students. So, can you please share with us your favorite tricks and techniques for making social studies interesting for students?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to speak and interact with you people at such a great level. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, related to the question which you have asked, that I have just listed. I hope I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, yes, you're very clear, Varsha, very clear.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. I would have just to answer this question, I have listed out a few points, and briefly, I would quickly answer that how social studies cannot be related to rote learning. So, like, every teacher I know wants to find ways to make social studies instruction more interesting to students. I will share a few of my tips and tricks, techniques, which I have been using in my classes for my students. The very first one, which I would like to say, is that show what you love about it. If you seem excited to learn and teach social studies, your students will follow and notice the same. Now, if you yourself make it painful or boring, your students will, pick that up too. Secondly, connect the past and the present. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, 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 Varsha. Yes,
Okay,
please
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah. So second point which I brought in was connect the past and the present. That is social studies. It becomes a lot more interesting when kids connect what they are learning to things that are happening now. Like real people, real events, choices people made a long time ago affects how we live them today. Thirdly, move past the textbook. Mostly social studies is thought to be just a rote learning, because I don't know, maybe in the olden times people or teachers were teaching it right through the textbooks, but right now teaching only out of textbook is a surefire way to put your students to sleep. Instead, try wonderful diverse resources from library, etc. Fourthly, use visuals and make it hands-on learning activity. Using rich images like maps, artwork, film clips, it makes it more appealing, interesting to kids. Getting creative really helps. Example, like using some props, such as copy of the constitution when you are teaching the constitution of your country, or like the grocery items to teach products and industries related to it. Hands-on projects, etc. They are very helpful. Fifth is like use project based learning, like using inquiry based instruction in social studies would be more engaging to students. Plan a field trip. And seeing the present scenario, why not plan a digital field trip through museums, through organizations? It can be a great engaging tool for students when you are totally into virtual teaching. Next is include music and art. Social studies is something which can be very much taught with the help of relating it to music as well as various art forms. A digital gallery walk could be also set up to analyze historical paintings, play music from a specific time period, etc. And it could also be incorporated for teaching varied topics across social studies. Lastly, I would like to say, why not integrate technology with social studies? That is, there are so many great social studies websites and apps. One can Skype call with the historians, playing audio and video podcasts. Teacher can also use Chatterpix. It is an app. I would just spell it out. Chatterpix. Use this, and it's really, really great when studying historical figures. And also make animated videos using Powtoon, Powtoon, and several other apps are there, websites are there, which will make the lessons very exciting and engaging for students. So I have been using these and incorporating these in my classes. So this was from my side. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Wonderful, Varsha. Thank you so much. You have shared, it's so nice to see how willingly you have shared your own tricks and techniques and the apps that you use with the others. And that's truly how educators and the philosophy of education is to share, as Mrs. Geeta told us right at the beginning, right? So if we hold it to ourselves, we are not benefiting anyone. So thank you so much for using the few minutes given to you to so beautifully share your knowledge with everyone. Thank you, and hearty congratulations again from all of us.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for creating such a platform. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome, Varsha. That's the intention, is to bring together educators in this manner to help one another and uplift one another. So your contributions are much appreciated. Thank you so much, Varsha.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Moving on quickly, the winner in excellence in teaching languages is Mr. Adish, who is a language teacher in Air Force School, Coimbatore. Let me quickly locate Mr. Adish, and uh, I know he is here. Okay, yes. Congratulations, Adish. I hope you're able to turn your mic on. Adish, are you able to hear us? Okay, Adish, could you just send us a message if you're able to hear us, but you're not able to use your mic for some reason? Then we'll know. Maybe we could come back to you a little later. I see Mr. Adish here, but we are not able to hear him. Okay, we will come back. We will come back to Mr. Adish, and hopefully he'll be able to join us and share his thoughts with us. Mr. Adish is a avid Sanskrit lover. He has been working in Air Force School since 2008, and he has also started a Sanskrit theater in Air Force School, Coimbatore, with his students, and has created movies in various languages, including in Sanskrit. He also has a YouTube channel of his own for the promotion of Sanskrit learning through movie media. Mr. Adish, very, very hearty congratulations from all of us. And when we speak of teaching languages, not many would think of inculcating unique techniques. So it's interesting to know that you've been teaching Sanskrit through so many methods. How do you manage to make a language class interesting? And how do you make it enriching for your students? Could you please share that with us?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Shall I speak, ma'am?
Yes, please, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sarvabhyo Namo Namaha. Good evening, one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank all the trustees of Learning Masters for organizing such a Star Educator Award. It has taken the teachers and the teaching profession into another level. This award inspires everyone. I congratulate all the teachers who bagged the awards today. Not only that, I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the teachers who participated in this event. Last but not the least, I would extend my thankfulness towards our education director, principal, all the teachers, non-teaching staff, students, and parents of F4 School Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. I stand here today with the success of saying that learning Sanskrit is difficult and changing the idea that learning Sanskrit is amazing. Today's generation is born into the world of technology and we are immigrants. We need to grow technically as children. It is on the basis of this thought, the concept of Sanskrit theater came to success in my school. Classes are taken by involving children through activity method. I take classes through CAI, Computer Assisted Instruction Method. So in addition to learning language, other skills are being developed. Example, camera handling, video editing, dubbing, etc. Children do all these with great interest. It replaced the traditional method with a text into drama and short movies. There are children writing the script and acting. They practice listening, writing, and speaking skill. The full participation of the children take place here. Grammar is fed into their brains easily. The complete assimilation of a subject take place here by the teacher, classmates, themselves, and activities together. The virtual classroom reached its peak during the COVID lockdown. This is because parents of children can also be involved in variety of activities. And now the student and I are preparing for a Sanskrit virtual exhibition. Once again, I thank all of you for giving me such an honor. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adish. It was really wonderful to hear from you, and it's an inspiration to everyone teaching languages to see how you're bringing in technology, popular things that children love, such as YouTube and all of that, to make the teaching of language interesting and fun. Thank you so much. Many congratulations again to you, and thank you for joining us today. So we will now move on to the next category. The winner in the Excellence in Teaching Mathematics category is Miss Farida Ali. And I will quickly look for Miss Farida. Ma'am, I think your mic is. Yes, great. Wonderful. Welcome. Wonderful. Welcome and congratulations. Farida Ali is a teacher at MSB Educational Institute, Nagpur. She has more than 9+ years of experience. Yes? Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes. Okay. So just let me quickly finish my introduction of you, ma'am, and then you can speak. Okay, she has more than 9 years of experience and has been associated with the UTA and has trained many teachers on online tools. Farida ma'am, there is a pervasive attitude towards maths among majority of people. A lot of students can often be heard saying, "I'm not good at math. I know I'll never understand it." So it's not easy to teach mathematics. So can you tell us how is it that you approach teaching mathematics with your students? How do you keep them interested in it?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, is I'm audible?
Yes, you are very much audible, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. First, I'm really very glad, and it's a huge honor for me to receive this award. And I'm deeply honored by my seniors for recognition of my work. Uh, First of all, I feel the children should know why are they learning maths. Actually, math is not like a subject. It is like a rather I can say math is everywhere around us. Whether it is nature,
Correct.
construction, business, sports, in day-to-day activity, maths is involved. So basically, once the students will understand this, their fear will disappear. We should always like relate maths concepts with the real life situation so that the children will feel yes, this is what we are doing in our regular life. So they will understand here the situation very well. It is nothing something new they are learning. Actually, we have to relate in that way all the concepts of maths. Like if you see the butterfly, the pattern is there, trees, number of leaves. So everywhere maths is there, and maths is all around us, and maths concepts with understand world better. So this needs to understand by students that we have to learn math for better problem solving skills. And I feel like math is a universal language. Like if you go like out foreign, or like a math equation does not need to be translated to another language
Correct.
to be understood by the someone on the other side of the planet.
Yes.
Like 2 divided by 2 is going to be same everywhere. So it's not at all going to be changed. And even math is applied in all the subject, and practically every career uses maths in some or the other way. So it's very important for us to learn maths. And the basic tips which I can give you, it's like basically when I teach maths, I use many manipulatives.
Okay.
So the children get very interested. What I am having every day, I just plan for something or the other with the good resources. So they are very keen. Okay, what are we going to learn? Like as the Gita ma'am also said, even we are practicing the same thing. We are using currency notes for the addition, subtraction. We just make like now it is not possible online, but still I'm taking the currency notes activities with them online also. But when we were in the school, like we used to set up a marketplace, and where the students used to do the buying and selling activities. So in that way they can learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, all the major concept with a small activity. Like so every time I plan my lesson plan, or I plan it that way ki activity should be there. Many of the manipulatives, the reason behind what the concept, why we are learning, why we are getting, that is my motto to teach the students. And every time I try to connect the child interest, child's interest. Like if the child is interested in sports, so I give them the word problems, or like the ma'am said, Gita ma'am said, story problems. Same, even I give them the story problem. Like that they should have an interest. Like if a student is in good in sport, so I'll use more of the sports related word problems to explain them, so then they can grasp very easily. And lastly, I feel I positive reinforcement is very important. I always like appreciate rather than the mistakes. I praise them. I don't see the mistakes. I just see okay, correct answers you got, so that is more good, and that you have to be doing all the way. So finally, that's it I can say. And thank you so much. I would like to thank Star Educator Award for giving me this prestigious award. And this will motivate me to achieve more success in future. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Farida ma'am. It was wonderful to hear all the things, all the techniques that you use to keep yourself and your students motivated. And I'm sure many of us here have, you have given us very good reminders on how to keep students positively engaged by bringing in manipulatives and using a lot of activities. And you're absolutely correct. It's very important to keep them engaged with those sorts of activities. So thank you so much. We wish you all the best and hearty congratulations once again from all of us, ma'am. Thank you. So, moving on, the winner in the category Excellence in Digital Innovation is Deepak Varuval Denison. And let me quickly ensure. Yes, I believe he is there, and his mic access should be getting activated now. Let me quickly introduce him. Deepak quit his career as a visual designer to join the Young India Fellowship, and during this time, he worked with Barefoot Education, a grassroots organization focused on improving the quality of education. He now works at Infant Jesus MHSS Kalpakam as an assistant school leader. He was also selected as a Mother Teresa Fellow for his commitment to working in the social impact space. He is the technical lead of the project Reading Genius Bilingual Stories, which is one of the finalists of the British Council's ELTON's Innovation Contest under the Local Innovation category. And he also leads Project Prayog Shala, an initiative to bring out the maker culture in India. Mr. Deepak, very, very big congratulations from all of us. And we're so glad you could join us today. Uh,
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. And am I audible?
yes, yes, you are very clear, sir, very clear.
Yeah, great. Thank you,
You're very
ma'am.
welcome, sir. So, our question to you is, digital transformation is not just about innovation or technology, it's also a matter of the culture. So, as a former visual designer and a firm believer of the power of design and technology in transforming education, please share with us how a school can nurture such a culture among its students and its teachers to foster digital innovation.
Yeah, so firstly, thank you for this beautiful prompt, ma'am. I was very excited to just read it. And yeah, so basically, every community is characterized by a unique culture, right?
Yes.
Regardless of it being big or small. So, yeah, and that way, every culture also does have their own strengths, weaknesses, and also more importantly, insecurities. Yeah, so these three things are like very basic parts of every culture. And I'll just take our school's example itself on how it played out. So, some of the strengths that I saw in our school, or that we have like very caring teachers who really care for the students, and all the teachers, almost all the teachers have access to smartphones, and they're almost well versed also with smartphones. So, these are the strengths. And the weaknesses where more than 80% of the teachers can't use computers, so they can use smartphones well, but computers no. And even 90% above, they don't have computers, so that challenge is also there. And they have lots of family commitments also. I won't necessarily call it as a weakness, but from a work perspective or from a school perspective, it limits them in some way in their contributions. Yeah, so that is there. And the insecurities, so this is like the big part. So one major insecurity that I see among the teachers is that they have slightly less confident to learn than the students, because firstly they themselves are teachers and they have to maintain the status quo also among students, so that is there. And they're also slightly apprehensive of showing their weaknesses, so these are like the main insecurities. And yeah, so these were the three main things that I saw in our school, and I'll just share how it actually played out also. So I'll just take two examples. The first one is that when I joined the school, we were looking at ways to inculcate audio visuals into everyday learning. So for that, we have to use projectors, computers, and all those things. But as I already mentioned, one of our major weaknesses is that most of our teachers doesn't know to use computers. And yeah, I'll just tell a small example from my college days also. So once we were having a feedback session with our founder, and they asked what is the thing that we should incorporate in our college or in our classroom. So I just suggested that our teachers should be better trained with technology, so that they just use the resources that we already have in our classrooms better. But it actually backfired, because the teacher started just shouting at me, asking how can I dare to accuse them with something like that. Yeah, so that's like a big learning, to not accuse someone on like their insecurities, or of those sorts. So in our school, we specifically designed the AV system in which we use only smartphones to project content. So that way, we actually saw a huge increase in the time spent on using AV after that. Because before that, when we were having just computers like smart boards, that time no one were using. But once we had a system where people could use smartphones, it just hugely amplified on their strengths. And so the next example is very much related to COVID, because so with COVID, all of us have moved to online learning. And yeah, so again we were facing challenges with, because most of our teachers haven't done like an online course before. So that way, it's like a very new thing for them, and we have to like upskill them, and all those challenges were there. So yeah, so this time we thought, instead of like training them, we just made like a small course for them in Google Classroom itself, and the entire course was done through mobile phone itself. Like, so even as the trainers, we were making all the videos through smartphone itself, so that firstly we get to know the strengths and weaknesses of using a smartphone. So that way we were delivering the entire course through the smartphone, and it actually hugely amplified the strengths of the teachers. And so now they are very confident in using their smartphones to teach the students. And some of our teachers even have their own YouTube channels now, so they just make videos and share with other people also, like they just post it in the public. So it's really heartwarming to see that. Yeah, so to summarize, these are my learnings to transform culture. First one is that insecurities play like a really huge role in every culture, and insecurities can't be overcome by developing solutions to undermine the weaknesses. But we should build solutions which can leverage these strengths, and that only can bring like a cultural shift. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak. That was wonderful. I think more so because it was, it was so nice that you shared very honestly and openly shared your those thoughts and feelings and your feedback. It takes a lot of courage for anyone to be able to do that in a very public forum. And the fact that you did that and shared it with so many of us here, I think inspires all of us to acknowledge such insecurities, which I'm sure many educators do have. So, thank you for inspiring all of us to acknowledge that we have insecurities in the first place, and secondly, to get motivated to look past our insecurities and treat them as something to work on rather than something to feel bad about or be ashamed about. Thank you so much for inspiring, and it was wonderful to hear the story of the transformation of the teachers. That you have worked with, and how they are now doing their own YouTube channels and things like that. We have also seen it many times in our work with our schools. Many times we have worked with schools where teachers have used the phone only just as a phone, use a smartphone. They have not even known how to access their email. And now these very same teachers are setting up Google Classrooms, creating their own videos, sharing, and they tell us it was so easy. I only needed someone to guide me and show me how to do it, and I'm so proud of myself for doing this now. And I was a person who could not even check my email before. So your story is very similar to that, and no matter how many such stories we hear, they are still very inspiring. Thank you so much for your honesty and for being so inspirational, Mr. Deepak. We really appreciate it, and congratulations to you once again from all of us at Learning Matters.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir. Thank you. So Moving on, our winner in the category Excellence in Teaching Science is D. Mary Swarna Rani. And I will quickly give her access. I know she is waiting here. So, hearty congratulations to you, ma'am. Mary Swarnarani is a teacher at Bhavan's Adarsh Vidyalaya in Kochi. She is very keen on taking up science projects with a research oriented approach that is beneficial to society. Her work has been appreciated and acknowledged by CBSE, who has honored her with public recognition of her valuable services for the cause of education. She was awarded with the CBSE Best Teacher Award in 2017-2018. CBSE also nominated her to MHRD to be a part of the International Teacher Exchange Program to Japan in 2019, so just last year.
Could you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations, ma'am, and wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, our very specific question to you, Mary ma'am, is science is a fascinating subject, but while it is a fascinating subject, this is also a very difficult time to teach science because doing it completely online is always difficult. Science is more hands on, right, than many other subjects. So, how do you manage to make science easy and understandable for your students? Can you please share some tips with us?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Namaste to all. Distinguished dignitaries and dear friends, I am deeply honored and humbled by the recognition you have conferred upon me. My hearty thanks to my nominators as well as for considering my achievements and contributions. In the first place, I gratefully acknowledge Mr. K. Suresh, the principal who is by his personal example taught me that whatever is worth doing well, and one's life becomes meaningful only when it is guided by love, compassion, and selfless service. I'm so grateful and fortunate enough to be a teacher in Bhavan Adarsh Vidyalaya Kochi, a great institution with a rich legacy of caring and motivating teachers. I was lucky to have been guided and supported by the management members of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Kochi Kendra. As ma'am has said rightly, science is a fascinating subject. Yes, it is usually taught from known to unknown and also being one among them in the discussion forum to lead to the concept that is the key factor of the success. As we all know, curiosity makes our brains more receptive for learning, and they'll be better prepared to learn things which they would normally consider boring or difficult. Respecting their ideas and giving freedom to question is also another key factor of success. Students' questions play an important role in the learning process as they are a potential resource for both teaching and learning science. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this honor.
You are very, very welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here today with us. We are just very inspired to have such a wonderful group of educators. As such, the group is full of educators. All our attendees are educators in some form or shape or the other. But to have people like you who work so passionately to make the subject come alive and to engage your students in such positive ways, it is our honor to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Our next category, our winner in excellence in teaching non-scholastic activities is Mr. Rajnikant Mishra. And let me quickly find Mr. Mishra. And yes, here he is. So let me quickly introduce him. Mr. Rajnikant Mishra is a sports educator with more than 10 years of experience in physical education, curriculum designing, teaching, and teacher training. And he currently works as a physical education teacher, both in a government high school as well as at Sportathon Foundation in Jharkhand. He also has been honored by the ELETS World Education Summit and Rethink India in 2018. Welcome, Mr. Mishra. School activities play a very significant part in the development of students, and co-curricular activities have become a fundamental part of school life. So now that we are dependent on remote learning, can you share some of your techniques on how physical educators can ensure students can still be part of non-scholastic activities in a positive way?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes.
Congratulations, sir. Welcome.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to Team Learning Matter as well, my fellow educators, those are awarded today. So thanks a lot for this.
Welcome.
It's a nice question, ma'am, as you asked this one. So the first thing is physical education in this time of COVID. Since last 6 months, kids are bombarded with online classes. They are spending almost 6-8 hours in a desktop, laptop, sedentary lifestyle they have. So physical activity that is a very important role, plays a very important role here. And definitely we have to plan out for that for the 6 and 7 8 hours when kids are taking the online classes. On mid of that physical, we have to not keep it only with the physical activity as well. We have to broaden it, and in the physical activity they have to keep the small breaks out of the classes. In as Farida ma'am told, we can inculcate we can integrate other subjects as well with the sports. So sports, that is the first thing. Sports or physical education, that is the first uh, love of any kid. They want to play either me or you or in our childhood if we go. Definitely the sports, that is the favorite subject of any kid. So here we have to integrate this physical education in various ways. First thing, with the short breaks they have to take we have to, they have the kids must have to take the short physical activity break. Apart from that, in daily activity they have to integrate with the yoga, aerobics, recreational activities and well. And from physical education, not only that, they have to inculcate this one the life skills as well.
Correct.
This is the time, since last 6 months they are spending their time, maximum time with their families. So family members, this is the time when we can inculcate life skills among kids. These are the things. Apart from that, plenty of time all the kids are getting at one. All the family members are one in one group. So many things are there. They can channelize it into uh, just as Geeta ma'am told, storytelling is the great thing. Art and craft, music, dance, singing, whatever their choice. So we can connect this one for their holistic development. Apart from that, a lot of things, suppose family challenges are there, family fitness challenges are there. They can arrange on challenges, fitness challenges with their siblings as well. So these all are the things where in this COVID also, and the best thing, this is the time we have to take care of our immunity. We have to take our care of our physical strength. So this is the time where, apart from this remote learning, where kids are spending a lot of time, uh, we have to give them if great physical activity access, so that post COVID as well, and with the COVID as well, at least they can channelize this one, and with their immunity system, their physical activity, all the things can be grown up. So these are the things that we can do, ma'am. Apart from anything.
Really wonderful to hear that, sir. And you're absolutely right. This is the time when everyone has been indoors for so many months now, and people are not getting the usual physical activity, especially children. It's more worrying for children because they have not been going out enough and playing, and they are missing all that. But people should be more aware and try to see how best they can incorporate some amount of physical activity into their lives. It is challenging, but I think people can try in some way or the other. So I think it was very
Not only the kids, ma'am, but the educators or the people, those are here, or all the persons, they should, at least they should be involved in the physical activity.
correct, correct.
And apart from that, we have in this COVID, we have developed a few things, just like Farda ma'am told, that we have connected other subjects with the physical education, just like in mathematics. But in the short breaks, whenever kids, they can they can walk from the drawing room to the kitchen. If they are taking 20 steps, how many steps they are counting?
Mm.
That is the part of the math thing. What is the length? What is the height of the doors? Suppose it is 6 feet. How far they can jump? How far they can touch the touch their doors? Fine. So these all the activities are there. Where we can in languages also we can teach them how just like throw, catch, and the thing that is, it should be age appropriate. The important thing, and that must be inclusive. Apart from that, also in the school, this should be inclusive and for each and everyone in this, either that is in at home or in the physical education classes in the school, rather than focusing on a team, on building 11 or 12 people. So the thing that is out of 500 mainly schools, they focus that on making of the team, that is of 11 or 12 people here. But apart from that, 489 kids they are just apart from that. So here, from the very beginning, we have to focus that inclusiveness, that is the must. And this is the drastic issues, obesity and sedentary lifestyle, that is very big problem with our country. So this is the things where we can take this up, and definitely physical activity will help out with this all activities. Okay, thank you.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And yes, exactly what you said. I love how you were able to make it make it multidisciplinary. So even in physical education, how educators can bring in other disciplines into it, like bringing in math or bringing in something else. Definitely, I think if educators can maybe help each other, support each other in coming up with creative ways, and as you rightly pointed out, not just the children, even all the grown-ups, the parents, and especially the teachers, because teachers are, I think, it's more burden on all the educators now, trying to teach online, teaching from their homes, with their managing their own families, other responsibilities. So even the teachers must make sure to take up some physical activity and keep themselves healthy. So thank you for shining the spotlight on that. Most people forget that our teachers need to be healthy and need to be more healthy now, both mentally and physically. So thank you, sir. Congratulations once again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Moving right on, our winner in the category Excellence in Teaching Children with Special Needs is Shanti Karmachetti. I will do a quick introduction of Shanti. Uh, Shanti, who works with special children, has founded Adventure Academy in Bangalore. She later co founded and currently works at Eka Educational and Charitable Trust. She is also serving as the president of SERPA. She is a guest faculty in one of the special educator training institutes in Bangalore. She has won the People's Choice Award in the category of special schools from Karnataka earlier by Brain Feed. She also is one of the top 50 finalists of the Global Teacher Prize, uh, uh, often called as the Nobel Prize for Teachers in the year 2016, and put India on the global map by doing so. Shanti, thank you so much for joining us today and for being here. Your mic access is on, so please do speak up, and so we can check if you are.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Congratulations from all of us.
Thank you so much. I would like to first thank the Learning Matters company for taking this initiative. It's like a small, sweet little festival during the pandemic, especially because teachers have been underrated during the pandemic because right from the day of the lockdown, Janta curfew, all the teachers have been working online, without a second thought, and have been learning technology and helping, every child reached out. It's been great, and during this time Learning Matters coming up with this recognition of teachers from across the nation is like a very sweet gesture. Thank you so much, Learning Matters and the jury, for picking out all the teachers handpicking. And I would also like to congratulate all the winners as well as the nominees, because everyone's a winner because everyone's made a heartfelt effort in teaching. I would also like to
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I would also like to thank my co-founder Sharmila and my teachers for always supporting and encouraging me to dream big, and making inclusion as a norm, and taking India's pride across the world, not just pertaining it to Bangalore or in India. I also would like to thank my family members and friends for always being supportive, and never, question me for not giving time to my family and always being with the children with special needs. So, without their support, I don't think I would have been able to cater to thousands of families, all this while. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Wonderful, ma'am. And yes, you absolutely correctly said. I know a teacher doesn't, a good, impactful teacher, or in fact, no teacher works in isolation, as you correctly pointed out. It is all a combined effort. We all have a team. We have colleagues with us whom we work with, whom we learn from. So thank you for bringing up that point, and on also the fact that teachers are also human beings with families. So oftentimes the families have to they do sacrifice a lot. When I was a teacher myself, most of my students, if they happen to see me somewhere outside of school, they would be very puzzled, because they would think, and I worked with very little children, and they would say, how come you're here, why aren't you in school? So younger children always think that teachers live, breathe, spend their whole lives in school. We often forget that teachers are regular human beings with families, and in fact they have more stress because of their profession. So thank you so much for talking about that. If you could just quickly tell us, working with children with special needs is very, very challenging, right? And your life's focus is that. So can you just tell us one or two things that any educator, any teacher, not just a teacher of children with special needs, but any teacher can do to ensure that inclusion becomes a norm in our country? Can
Wow,
you share
that's
just
a
one or
very
two things about that?
sure, sure. That's a very sweet question. Thank you. So I would like to, start this answer with a small analogy. So we all live in, our own homes. We all have shelter, fortunately, and luckily. When we make our home, we could see that we have a small empty plot, and we start building the house, and that house becomes a home eventually. We try to gather things, for the people in the house by making it very comfortable, very safe, enjoyable, usable, and we ensure that every member living in the house is given the equal opportunities. They're happy and safe. That is a way of expression that we all belong to one family. It could be a small nuclear family, or it could be a joint family. When it comes to a joint family, there are different people with different ideas and values, but still the whole family comes together and lives together. Making their small little adjustments, learning their way, and they adapt themselves and still make it happen. When you look into the two families, a nuclear family and joint family, there are studies that have proven that joint family people coming from the joint family are much happier, and happier for longer time. They have high levels of empathy and socially adept. They also learn to respect every individual as it is. Acceptance, togetherness, etc. are proven scientifically. So that is a small example of a large family. Inclusion is one typical example of a home or a family members living together. It could be at home level, or it could be in the neighborhood, where people accept that the whole neighborhood comes together and accepts that everyone is again same, happy, enjoyable, used to and productively for their neighborhood, whether they're comfortable or not, whether they're accepted socially or not. So this way, if inclusion can be spread from our own homes to neighborhood and to the city and state and country wise, inclusion becomes a norm. Inclusion is not an end product where everyone has to aim to reach through it, but inclusion is a lifestyle. It's a process of life where everyone makes their own life, what you call, easy and adaptable, and coexist together harmoniously. Having said that, a few little tips for the schools and the educators that are listening to this, is there are quite a lot of times that I've heard this said to me when I was trying to mainstream my students, that we are not well equipped, we won't be able to take the students with special needs. Like I've quoted this example of home. There is never a family member like a father or an uncle in the house or a grandpa in the house who said that I'm not well equipped to raise you. They make their own changes, they learn how to cope up, and they make the house enjoyable and livable. A house is for everyone in the family. Similarly, a school is for everyone. Everyone deserves to go to school and get the equal and quality education. So school leaders and teachers will have to make their own small little changes in their skills so that everyone is adapted. Inclusion is not a big thing that you have to go to college and learn. These are small little gestures that we can all make. For example, sign language. It's just a 2 hours matter that we can take up time and attend a workshop. We all can learn sign language, and sign language is universal. Like how we all are coming from India, from different regions and speaking various languages, are now using only English as our media for communication right now. Likewise, sign language is a universal language where it can be used throughout. You don't have to learn Spanish to go to Spain. You can use sign language, and people there can use the same sign language. It's universal, but it's just 2 hours, of training that one can do. Similarly, physical barriers, like can make your house or your school or a hospital physically friendly for wheelchair users. It's just a matter of, again, 2 hours of mason coming and making a ramp, and that's it. Your school is inclusive school in terms of physical barriers are removed. So these small little changes everyone making in their house or in the classroom or in the school itself makes it inclusive. Also, I would like to quote one small example of, we as teachers, we used to go to schools and apply for jobs and get the job, and ensure that we are working in the passion, with the same passion we are interested in. Similarly, inclusion is something that we all want to, but we don't know how to go about. So inclusion will not come to our feet. We have to go and embrace it and adapt it by making these small little changes. There's a study from Harvard, which states that by 2020, 1 in every 2 newborn in US might have autism spectrum disorder. 2020 is already here and almost 9 months are over. Thanks to pandemic, we haven't been realizing that. But are we in a position to accept that many people with autism spectrum around us? Not really. So it is time that we all embrace and accept the situations and understand how to communicate and socialize and coexist harmoniously. So with this, I would like to wrap my small little tips on how to be inclusive educator. Thank you so much, Learning Matters, for giving me this opportunity to speak, as well as for recognizing my work. And congratulations to everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, Shanti. I just love what you said about, if we only viewed the entire world as one family, as one big joint family, then our attitudes towards our colleagues, our students, and everything would completely and drastically change, isn't it? So thank you so much for leaving us at the end of the event with something so wonderful, such a wonderful thought to think about, and really appreciate it. And yes, you are absolutely correct. Inclusion will not come to us. We must make steps proactively, thoughtfully, and meaningfully to get to inclusion. And inclusion has to become something normal. Exactly, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much for your great work, Shanti, and congratulations once again from all of us. And moving on to our last category, the winner in Excellence in Inclusive Leadership by a Principal is Parvati E. Parvati E is principal at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Kerala. She has more than 15 years of experience in teaching. She has been a resource person for the Center of Excellence in CBSE and has been conducting workshops for senior secondary teachers multiple times. She's also been a head examiner for the AISSCE. She has received the Certificate of Merit for her paper presentation on depiction of womanhood in Anton Chekhov in the UGC National Seminar. She's also the recipient of the Vidyodaya Award for Excellence in Teaching in the year 2014. Unfortunately, Parvati could not join the event today because of a sudden situation at home on a personal front, and so she was very sad to have missed it. And I think we are more sad to have missed hearing out from yet another remarkable educator. So congratulations to Parvati from all of us, and we're very sad she wasn't able to join us. I'd just like to say a very big congratulations again to each one of our 9 winners who have done so much in the field of education already. And it was wonderful to hear the 8 of you that spoke today. Each one of you came with such different thoughts and such different inspirations for all of us. It was really wonderful to hear, the pearls of wisdom from each one of you. Really, really a lot to think about for each one of us. But I also want to acknowledge every other single wonderful educator who was nominated by their colleagues, by their students, by their principals, and so on for the Star Educator Awards. Unfortunately, we only had to choose one person in each category. But hats off to each one of you for the work that you do. Teaching is definitely one of the toughest professions out there, and it takes a lot to be an educator who is genuine about their work. Thank you, each one of you who has also joined us today. Every single one is an educator. Thank you so much for being here at this event, for supporting us, Team Learning Matters is always grateful for your support, and we thank you so much for all that you have done, and we look forward to your support in the future as well, in all of our campaigns and in all of the work that we do in education and with teacher training. Thank you, every single person, for joining us. Thank you to my wonderful colleagues who, so many of you were here today, and for making this event a big success, and for being a huge support. Our email ID is contact@learningmatters.xyz. A phone number that you can reach us at is 98437 if you would like to ask me or ask any one of us any questions about any of our educational solutions, such as Star Teacher, Tara, or Kenjin. And finally, our website is learningmatters.xyz. Once again, a very big thank you to everyone. We are thrilled at the Star Educator Awards, and we're thrilled at how wonderful the event was. A huge round of applause also to Mrs. Geeta Dharmarajan and Dr. Raj Gopal, who graced our occasion and gave us so much wonderful advice from their own experience and expertise. Good evening, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful rest of Saturday and a wonderful Sunday. If there is anything that you would like to reach out to us for, you can always welcome to email us or call us, and we look forward to conversing with you again in some future event. Thank you so much. Good evening, and once again, thank you for joining us. Bye.